What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title that came up and bit me. This is one that was repeatedly suggested by my audience, so I figured I would give it a look. This is a giant mecha bug battling game called Frontline Crisis, and in it, you are a robot lady that is wired into the hull of a giant mech that is destined forever, like a dreadnought in something like Warhammer 40k, to fight the bugs for all eternity. That's the entire point of the game. And so today we're going to be taking a look at it, seeing if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list, or if it's one of those games you would rather not play for yourself. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I've got a link for you down below in the description. You can check the game out there. It's $6, it's ridiculously cheap, and it is absurdly well made. But you can also find a link to my Discord, my Twitch stream, all that kind of fun stuff, just in case you wanted to hang out live. I will also have a link down there for you for that. So Frontline Crisis. Frontline Crisis is one of those rare indie games that comes along every now and again that is at exactly the right price point to where you feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck. This is a game that is very, very aggressively wearing a lot of different hats, and I think that's impressive. This is one of those games that's trying to do a lot of things, it's unleashing a lot of ideas, and so the basic core idea of the game is that you've got a tower defense game, right? The goal is to build a base before the boss arrives that will not succumb to his advances, no matter how beautiful or amorous. We all love big bugs, but every now and again you gotta take a break. You don't want to overdose. The twist here, and there are many twists, is that you are piloting a giant mech during the whole thing, and without you available, nothing happens. And so my mech does all the building, my mech does a significant proportion of all the fighting and battling and killing enemies and whatnot, and then from there, there's a bunch of other mechanics folded on in that have to do with puzzle games and arrangement games, which I'll show you right here now that we've completed the mission. And it's got metagame progression, it's got things to upgrade, it's got weapons, it's got buildings. I get to configure every single cell of this base right here. There are operators and employees that run all of these that are upgradable, and you can make them better at their job. And so it's a tower defense game that also has action in it. It also has puzzle elements inside of it. It's a very, very fun little title. So this is where the operator operates out of. I was giving you a little mission over there just to kind of like get your feet wet and get some rough idea of what the gameplay looked like. But in between missions, there's actually a lot of stuff you need to be doing in order for your mission to be successful. And we're going to access that by hitting the deploy button down here. Now, we have employees. These employees are lost in the post-apocalyptic world, and sometimes when you dig up this goo, because yes, your mech can mine, yes, your mech can remove goo, all that kind of fun stuff, there's things inside the goo. And sometimes you'll find escape pods that have these employees inside of them. These employees are a grid. You see the little Tetris-like mechanic right there? They decide how far out your base goes. Every green tile is something that I can build on top of. Gray tiles I cannot. And so these guys right here allow me to expand my domain like so. Were I to put him right there, these little guys are also upgradable. So I could go in right here, and I could unlock a grid right there, and I could unlock a grid right there. They have little skills that you can give to him too, so like by having these guys around, his buildings, everything in his territory will have more HP. If he has the organized skill, we can build multiple buildings at the same time. We can have a skill that makes them rebuild buildings after they've been destroyed, because normally they can't. We can insure it so that we get money back if anything inside his territory gets destroyed. And then we've got an ability called Kickstart, which makes him give us a whole bunch of gems at the beginning of the fight that help us get started and build our base faster. And so I'm going to take that for right now, but on top of that, you've got about 1 billion different types of buildings in here. These buildings will do everything from spawn autonomous drones that will go out and fight with the enemy without any interaction from you, to give you special abilities like nuclear bombs you can drop on the bugs, to simple things like walls, to new things that you can bolt onto your mech like automatic shotguns, machine guns, all that kind of fun stuff. There are buffs over here, things that allow you to clean up goo faster, make your mech faster, give you more HP. There are things that mine inside of here so that you can make more money. There's all kinds of fun things to play around with. I'd like to get like 2 more collectors because I feel like we're lagging a little bit on collection. I'm going to put that wall out right there. I would also like to have 2 more fortress walls before we go into the next mission. I've got 2 of these towers that have lights on them. and those count as an armored building too, so this will be like a strong wall right here. But there's another element to this that makes it even more interesting. If you have complete lines of buildings and you manage to get all the buildings built in a straight line from the bottom of the map to the top of the map, you get a permanent super shield increase. You get a regenerating energy shield, and for every single row that you've built everything inside of, your shield gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and it regens faster and faster and faster. And that ties into something that we'll talk about in just a minute, but for now, let me set up my grid real fast. Once you're done building your base, you can save the blueprint over here. I'm hoping they add 2 or 3 more slots so that you can have multiple configurations. That would be very nice. Alright, we're all nice and set up, but this creates a fundamental conflict that the player is going to have to navigate, and we'll take a look at that right now. So you may have noticed during that opening intro that there was a timer at the top of the screen. What exactly does that timer mean? Well, this timer keeps score, but there's also multiple timers in the game. So this is the maximum duration of the game right here. In case you are wondering what that does, but down here in the bottom right, you'll see a little meter that says 19 on it. That 19 is how many waves we have until the boss mob gets here. But there's a catch. Every single time we remove a puddle of goo, the meter advances by -2 until it gets down to 0 and the boss spawns. And so this game has conflicts of interest in the respect that you very much want to build your entire base and have all of your support buildings up and ready to go by the time the boss spawns, but you also want to clear out this goo to get all the secret items and to get all the secret weapons and to get all the metagame stuff, which advances the timeline and makes it so that you may not actually be able to finish your base before the boss arrives, which leads to kind of frenetic showdowns where you're fighting the boss as fast as you can while also trying to clear goo simultaneously. Very pulse-pounding stuff. I found it to be incredibly addictive once I realized how many different mechanics this game has packaged on into it. Now, I'm building my collectors right here. This is going to give us a financial base so that we can have lots and lots of minerals coming in without me having to mine them. I can mine on any tile that I want, just like I'm doing right now, and you'll see at the bottom of the screen it says that I'm exploring. That'll give me 30 minerals probably every 6 seconds or so, but these auto-mine minerals. This right here is a magnet. If you hit the magnet, it gathers everything on the map for you because I don't know if you noticed, but your mech is kind of slow, and so being able to gather things quickly is a really good idea. The maps that have these in like a good spot always tend to be a little bit easier than the ones that don't. Let me get my drones up and running very rapidly. So Starlight has now taken flight, so that's good. I need to purify some of this goo out here. Took a little bit of a hit right there. I got a weapon, and the weapon appears to be the bouncing dagger. So this thing, it fires a little shard of glass that bounces in between enemies. It's pretty good. I have lots of goo that I gotta clean out, man, just to get my base safe. This is problematic. Let me get my collectors up and running, though. We got a bunch of minerals out of that spot. Every single time you clear out goo, you get some kind of bonus, and we got a ton of minerals right there, which is really good for us. Alright, we got a reload on our knife thrower. Good stuff. Give me another Starlight right here, because the more drones I have, the better. You guys know me. I always favor any gameplay style that gives me tons and tons of drones. I just can't help myself. I love my little robo buddies. And so we'll get the drones up and flying for right now. I'm going to clear out that last goo. That gave us a bomb that we can drop on the enemy. And then I've got to clear this goo over here to get my base completely and totally done. So that'll be the last one. The good news is we should have a lot of minerals right now to build out the rest of the base. So let me get the defensive wall up so that there's no areas that the bugs can kind of like get after us. Those right there are coins. We use those to upgrade our employees. We use those to upgrade our buildings and the amount of them that we can have. And so we definitely want to have a lot more of that currency too. I don't really want the firecracker. I'm not a huge fan of the firecracker as a weapon, but it'll have to do for now. Luckily, I've got like a stronger weapon, otherwise this wave may have caused us a little bit of a headache. But there's our first row done, AT defense. You'll see a little white line being added onto my health, and when you pop that, it automatically vacuums everything on the map. So if you can time out your AT lines right there, Tetris style, man, it can really come together. It can come together real well. Now, let me get myself a shotgun real fast, because it looks like they're coming in pretty thick over here. that thing that I just built that has the little aura around it, that thing, it's called a starlight. Or like a star or something. I forget the name of it. Stargate. What the Stargate does is if you shoot through it, it superpowers your bullets and make them do double damage. So you usually want these to be in front of some kind of defensive tower. Although I do have my defenses placed poorly. I didn't look at that very well while I was organizing this fight. Let me get the rest of my base built on up. It looks like we're actually smoking the bugs right now. Like, we've got some really, really serious nastiness going on out. Our mech also comes equipped with an automatic melee attack. If the enemy gets too close, you'll see, like, these big pincher things come out of my mech, and when the big pincher things come out, they slash the enemy. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I came over there for no reason. All right. Give me the meteorite over here. And I'm going to try to clear out as many of these goo tiles as I possibly can before the bad guys come to get me. All right, so there's our final AT line, all good to go. Our shield bar is looking huge, which is great for us. These lamps that are on top of these are clearing out the fog of war over here too, which makes our lives much easier. There's a wreckage, so that's going to be one of the escape pods I told you about. That's going to give us a new employee. We don't know exactly what level he's going to be or if he's going to be useful to us, but it does give us a new employee. And I'm going to try to clear out as much of this as I possibly can before the boss gets here. Our shield should hold and keep us mostly safe from any little scuffy boy damages that we take, but here comes the boss. Come on, get that cleared out. Magnet, good stuff. We've got another magnet spot right there. The enemy is on us, and they are chewing on our shields. Can I get supercharged knives going through there? I don't know if I could get supercharged knives. We got a pretty solid stack of enemies rolling up in here trying to cause a problem, and it's because the Horde is actually the boss here. I was trying to run past them without losing all my HP so I could clear out just a little bit more goo and hopefully find another secret, because there's like 4 secrets on this map, and I've only ever gotten like one of them. They are chewing on my wall pretty good right there. Come on, keep cleaning. Well, it doesn't look like we actually got that much over here. There is a goo right here, though, that I'd like to go for. Damn, our paycheck on this one is huge. Aw, you can't clean goo after the map ends. You can kill bugs that are running away to get some extra currency or whatever, but you can't clear goo once this thing drops right here. We cleared out a lot of map, though, but you can see how this game goes from being like, tower defense games really have this reputation of being sort of a humdrum genre where you kind of like sit and wait for things to happen. I very much like the dispellation, is that what I would call it? I like the dispelling of expectation here, because you're expecting to sit behind a castle wall and just fight out enemies, but no, in this game, get your ass outside the wall and start looking, because like you can beat the game by camping inside your base, but you're not going to get any of the hidden buildings. That's right, there's hidden buildings, there's secret things that you can get out here in the goo that make you stronger. These little drones that I'm able to summon, that was one of the things that I found out in the goo. And so that gives you replayability as well, because you keep coming back into these missions, trying to find all the little secrets and stuff that are inside of them so that you can have a full roster, 100% complete of everything in the game. And everything here is very, very well done. Like, it's been surprising how good it's been going. Francis, huh? All right, we'll add another operator to the overall deal that we've got going on right now. Our base is going to teleport on out, and it's time for us to take on a new mission. Missions in this game, I haven't seen a lot of variety in them. You get these signals over here. These signals are basically goo clearing missions where there is no base building. It's just you and your mech trying to clear goo and get all of these signal towers up and erected, and then you get a bonus for that. I think it gives you like money or something else like that. So I guess I can run one of these right here, but I'm probably gonna do it off camera, because like they're basically like a scramble for territory, and I think the signals are also a way for you to unlock things that are in missions that you might have missed, but I don't know that for certain. I don't know if signals have their own buildings and things that they unlock, or if they're a way for you to pick up a little bit of extra money and some of the buildings that you missed in missions that you previously played. I'm not super positive on that front, but we are sitting around with a lot of money right now, so we should be able to do something. Over here, I can't do anything with Francis for right now, but I would like to upgrade some of my guys' coverage ranges, I think. So let's make your coverage range a little bit bigger. We'll make your coverage range a little bit better. The downside to upgrading coverage ranges is that sometimes they can get a little funky in the interim time when you're trying to set things up. So I'm going to need at least 1 or 2 people that are all lines, I think, to cover this bottom line, I think. Let me see if I can keep her as a line so that she can kind of go in like right there. And then that would allow me to bring in these guys like so that we've got a little bit more range to play around with. And then for him, it'd be nice if he was a line, but he's not a line, is he? Okay. We'll put that in right there. And then I think I gotta load my buildings. Alright, now all nice and fully. I had to redo my entire base because I moved my operators around. But honestly, the UI and whatnot is so easy to work with left clicks and right clicks, just adding and removing things, that you should be able to do it pretty rapidly. I timed that right there, and it took me about 1 minute to 1 minute 30 for me to completely redo my base from scratch. Let's start. It says I don't have enough collectors, but, like, I think it's lying, dude. I think it's lying to me. I feel like my minerals are always stacked up to the ceiling every single time that I play. Let's use a magnet to pick up all this stuff because it's just easier that way. Oh, I'm building on top of the magnet. Oh, that's going to be inconvenient. Okay, so what I need to do first then is I need a purifier over here. So let's get the purifier built so that I can get some of this goo out of the way. Because the enemy is a-comin', oh lord, they comin'. They're just going to chew on that wall for a little while, which is fine, while I'm just picking things up and making it happen over here. Let's get our defensive towers up. So there's our explosive bomb tower. We'll clean that out. We got a free fireball cast out of that. We'll get our light tower up right here, and then we're going to cover our light tower as well with a wall, just so they have something to chew on in front of it before things get too rowdy. And then I need to get my collector grid up and running, otherwise we're not going to have resources. We're already going to have to kind of like babysit and make things happen because we don't have a magnet on grid right now, or at least a frequently reproducible magnet. Get you built. Alright, good stuff. So we got collectors up and running. I don't want to go too nuts with eliminating goo. Like, I can get rid of 1 or 2. I'm going to have to in order to make this happen. We did get a shard thrower, which is nice, though. Give me a few minerals over here. We'll finish off the collector grid. And boop. And boop. That should be done. There we go. So all of our collectors are now spun up and doing their thing. Defensive walls are doing defensy things. We should be okay. I'd like to replace all of these walls right here with the walls that have flashlights on them so that I can see further on out. Let's go with, what do I want to get next? Let's get Starlight going so that at least we have drones flying around. Let's get the walls banged out so that at least we're covered along all points. And by the time that's finished off, we should be able to go back and collect big minerals out of there. He's chewing on my wall. Please stop. Get this Stargate up so that this bomb launcher does more damage. I gotta clear this goo right here, which is accelerating us dangerously towards places that I don't want to go, namely boss time. We're probably not going to make much money on this run just because I don't have a magnet, and so if I had a magnet, we'd be in great shape, but I hath not a magnet. The game seems to have a pretty good variety of enemies and critters and things that are trying to murder you. I've seen in probably the first 2 hours of playing the game, pretty much every single level has some kind of new mob that you've got to learn how to deal with and like what they do and how they attack. Every single level has had its own distinct boss so far too, as far as I can tell. And so somebody clearly put a lot of work into this game and like took pride in this game while they were crafting it, because that's something you just don't see from the games that don't care. You know, like the games that are clearly being made for profit, that you can feel it in a game, can't you? When it feels like there was no love and no passion inside of it. Like, I always feel like I can feel it. I almost got myself murdered. Health is looking awfully low right now. I think we're going to need an improved weapon pretty soon. Come on, give me my scatter shot. There we go. Now I've got the scatter shot. It's expensive, but it's worth it. At least in my opinion. I would like to get a little bit more money, though, too. We're not really making any oh, God. Okay, almost died. I didn't realize there was bad guys back there. Hence why I need the walls that have flashlights on them. Okay, where's my repair station? I can fix my mech. I've got a repair station. I just haven't built it yet. Alright, repair station's up, and we need minerals for that to work. So let's sit on here, get our HP back. Alright, spray and pray. We'll just keep busting shots at all of these little bug boys. I don't think we're going to get too many bonuses on this one. I'm having to slow play this one a little bit more aggressively than I would like. But I would like to spawn my shield by finishing an AT line, so that's a good idea. I'm going to need all the purifiers up and running because I'm going to be trying to clear maps while fighting the boss. It may not work out in an ideal way. It may get a little bit ugly. Let's finish this next AT line. Next round of minerals are going to go to me getting a special weapon, be it a spray and pray or whatever. All weapons in this game cost 160 minerals to upgrade, so just keep that in mind. Give me a spray and pray, please. Build the ballista, please. The ballista makes my bullets all hit harder. Trying to hold down here, but I don't know if it's going very well. I'm going to try to collect some of my coinage, just so I have a little bit of stuff to spend on upgrades later on. Get the ballista finished. Okay, we should have more damage on our gun now. And then another one, so we've got even more damage on our gun. Give me another spray and pray. Damage numbers only show up during bosses from what I've seen so far. And so, there we go. Get that all mashed out. And then I would like the mechanic to be done because he fixes the walls in between waves. I'm going to need the radar. Alright, another AT line done, so that'll be good. Start firing at these goobers over here. Boss is coming in on the next wave. Go ahead and just give me an early scatter shot. And I'm going to start clearing out some goo. We found the wreckage on the first goo, actually. Okay. There's some kind of mechanic related to operators where you can retire them, but I just haven't gotten that far in the game yet. Like, it says that retiring an operator at high XP, like, generates technology, but I don't think I've quite gotten to that mechanic yet. I kind of ditched out on the tutorial midway through, because you guys know me, I like to experience games the old-fashioned way. I've explained this before in videos, but when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, if you didn't know what to do in a game, you just had to figure it out. You know, you had an instruction manual, but just like modern game tutorials, sometimes some instruction manuals were better than others, and you just kind of had to figure it out for your own damn self, otherwise you would get no further in the game. And so what that impressed upon me later on in life is that I really, really, really like figuring things out for myself. I enjoy that feeling of kind of being lost in the sauce and not exactly sure what's coming or what to do. Oh, I got a puzzle. Nice. Oh, this game has puzzles, by the way. It has jigsaw puzzles. So you'll find jigsaw puzzles from time to time out in the game world. and those jigsaw puzzles unlock new technologies and new buildings, and so they can be quite useful. Shields are holding. I'm kind of like slow playing this boss super hard because I want to farm up some cash. I got a couple consumables over here too. Drop some fireballs on these dudes. Oh, he's coming in for the melee attack, huh? Alright. I'm gonna need all that money. I'm gonna magnet everything else to me real quick. It's gonna be hard to kind of get around behind these lines to get the thing that I want. Give me another machine gun. Okay, I have a machine gun again. I'm going to try to clear out some goo. I don't know how well it's going to go, but I'm going to try. I don't know if I picked up any extra lives or anything either, because you can pick up extra lives from the goo as well. Light off a laser, and the boss is dead. I don't think we 100%ed that mission, but you know, we unlocked the Volt. Cool. It's a new primary weapon. Oh, we got all three. Nice. Hell yeah, dude. That's exactly what I was looking for. That's looking absolutely fantastic right there. I can only deploy 7, so like, I'll just retire this one. Oh, they gave me $60 for him. Okay, so I guess human beings do have an associated cost. That sort of raises questions about the freedom-related statistic or labeling of that individual, if I'm able to just, like, pass him on and get paid for it. That makes me feel like maybe I'm not the good guy in this story. But this right here is called Frontline Crisis. It's fantastic. It's great. Everything from the sound to the soundtrack to the overall creativity of what they've done here with the tower defense formula is very, very good. I don't like tower defense games, so the fact that this game won me over so resoundingly, bump bump, that's a very, very good thing. I will see you all later. Thanks for hanging out with me. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what is worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with Frontline Crisis. Tomorrow we'll be messing around with something else. Thanks for hanging out with me, and that's about all I got for you. Bye, folks.